Yeah, I'm all right. All right.
Sounding a little rough this morning. All right, guys. Well, appreciate it. Thank you for taking time to jump on. Um, First off, going to start off by saying thank you for taking care of the team while I was going to conference and out on PTO. So appreciate it, guys. Y'all did an amazing job. Couldn't ask for anything better. Um, y'all eliminated a lot of the phone calls to me, and that's good. But always like getting those phone calls. So appreciate y'all's hard work and dedication. I just wanted to tell y'all that honestly from the bottom of my heart. I do appreciate it. Thank you very much. Um, Start off here. Obviously, from conference, we talked about it a little bit yesterday on the team call. Lot of conversation, a lot of things going on about teamwork and the small stuff. I know that I've been saying that a lot lately, but that's something that I really want to start implementing a lot more. Um, and not worrying so much about the scorecard per se. Worry about fixing the small things that we have, which is not a whole lot, guys. I will be the first to admit that there's not a whole lot of it, but I mean, a couple attention to detail items that we want to take a look at, like we talked about yesterday, the on start times being one, the teamwork aspect too. I know that perfect example last night. Rouse was out in the weeds a little bit on that job, but we stayed in contact with him and made sure everything was okay. So appreciate it, guys. He did call me once he got finished up with that job, so I appreciate that. Appreciate y'all staying in contact with him as well. Another thing I want to talk about is obviously Brian is out right now. We're working with that. Looks like a 12 to 18 week process on that. In contact with him yesterday. I did talk to him yesterday. I appreciate y'all jumping on the on his squad board and staying in contact with the team and making sure everything's going smooth. So appreciate that. I know Kerry and Dustin both jumped on his board, on his squad board. So thank y'all. And I know y'all are kind of double teaming that, and especially I will be helping in that as well. So if they need anything, I'll be watching his board as well. One thing that we need to talk about is it's getting close, and I want to kind of give y'all a heads up and early on it. I think Brian had elected to take the next round of Saturday shift, but unfortunately, I don't think he's going to be able to do that. So I wanted to get with y'all and see between Kerry and Dustin who is willing to take the Saturday shift starting in January. So y'all think about that, look at your schedules, things like that, and let me know. But I need one of y'all to step up and take that next quarter shift, the first quarter of the year shift of Saturdays. Y'all let me know as soon as possible. I'd like to get an answer by the middle of next week, or at the latest end of next week, so that we can go ahead and get that submitted and get that taken care of. Just want to kind of jump on that early on the ball so that we're not in the weeds on that. Y'all got any questions on that?
No.
No. All right, Kerry.
Uh, no, sir. Well, yeah, one, I guess.
Okay.
Sorry. If I was to take it, could we jump it to like the second week and not the first week? Would you
The
be okay with that?
You're talking about starting at the second week of January instead of the first week of January?
Yeah, I mean, if Victor's okay with that, I mean, I don't know that I could do it the first week, but I could start the second week.
Okay. We'll work that out and see what we can do. Dustin, do you think you might be able to take that one or no?
I can take that first week. I ain't tripping. Whatever makes it work.
Okay, perfect. So you're good with that, Kerry, then? Will Victor take that first week, and then the second week of January, you'll start the Wednesday through Saturday shift?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and take it.
Okay, awesome. Dustin, you had something, sir?
I was just gonna say I have to look at my schedule and go, get things through with the with Ethan's mom to make sure I can keep him on, longer because that would be taking up the time that I have with him already planned. So I just have to. I would have had to just make sure I could keep him until Tuesday if she was okay with that. That's all I can say. But I mean, it's already taken care of now. I wouldn't have known until like the end of the day.
That's fine. We got it taken care of. Thank you, Kerry, for stepping up and doing that, covering our teammate while he's out. That's fine. And then once Brian gets back, we'll jump back in the mix with him, and then we'll worry about the second quarter of next month between Brian and Dustin. But thank you, Kerry, again for jumping into that. Some of the other stuff we want to take a look at, guys, is I know that we've talked about it a little bit. I am going to start spending a lot more time with y'all as the leadership team. One of the big things we talked about at the conference is building our leaders. I know we talk about it all the time, and I have not done my due diligence and helping out and building those building y'all. So I'm going to be spending a lot of time working with y'all and building leaders, because obviously our company is growing, leaps and bounds, and we want to make sure that we have the next man up mentality, so that as the company's growing, we have the right people in place, and the people that want to succeed and move up, we have those have y'all ready for that. So I'm going to be working with y'all a lot closely with that, and getting y'all ready, and spending a lot more time with y'all, giving y'all the peek behind the curtains and things like that on some of the stuff we do. That kind of started a little bit with me doing the recording of the how to build the scorecard. I know that y'all don't have the access to the Open BI reports to be able to do that, but that's just kind of giving y'all a little bit of, what we do, so that when y'all decide to move up, and when we want to, get going up the chain, we make sure that y'all have the a little bit of insight of what's going on to kind of help out in the transition phase. So a lot of that's going to be happening in the near future. And I'm going to be working a lot closely, guys, with y'all as far as, kind of monitoring and moving on with the guys. I know that we have a lot of, hey, Derek said, let's get this done, blah, blah, blah. And then it kind of ends there. And that's kind of my fault also. I want to make sure that I'm giving clear information and clear expectations, so that there's not a whole lot of questioning behind it. So I will be giving a lot more clear insight to what's going on and how we're doing things, and when we expect things to get done. One of the biggest things, like I said, was the on-start times. Some other stuff that we need to take a look at is it's not a very big deal with our team, but we want to kind of watch the VCE. If we have VCE on our trucks, we want to make sure that we are getting that taken care of and using that first on service jobs, and not as much on new installs. But VCE obviously is a big thing for the company. It saves the company a lot of money, and obviously in doing so, we all just got notified that the 401k matches that the company is going to be doing, and the VCE is a big part of that, and helping the company being able to take care of us and offer us better options and better packages and things like that. So the 401k match was a big thing for the company. I know that a lot of us have been asking about it and wondering about it since we started with the company. So for them to do that now is outstanding. That really shows that the company does care about us and wants to take care of us. So we want to make sure that we're doing our due diligence to keep that striving forward. Also, obviously, today's end of the month. We had a successful November. Numbers are a little crazy. I think right now we're sitting number 8 in the company. Our SIN 30 and our SOS is a little crazy, but looking at the numbers, it looks basically like the rest of the company is around the same as us. But we want to do our due diligence. We don't want to be in the excuse me, man. We don't want to be in the norm. We want to lead the pack, obviously. So our biggest thing is we've been talking. Go ahead, Kerry. I see you got a question.
Yeah, well, I was hoping Tommy was on for this one, but it's not really a question. It's kind of a statement question. I don't know. I was talking to Victor yesterday, and one reason for a lot of our returns, SOS and SIN, is the customer tech support. Not our tech support, but the ones that they call. I've had several where something may glitch, obviously with this new software that's so awesome, and their tech support will walk them through something and delete the freaking camera or the thermostat, and they don't know how to get it back on, and so that causes us to come back out. And then what they're doing is just randomly picking people. I'm assuming that's how they do it, because I've had a couple of customers call me, and Victor had a couple call him the other day, that they're pushing 3, 10, 6 through people's internet, and then when it boots up, it knocks all the cameras offline. And then, I mean, a lot of times it can be fixed with just a panel reboot, but they're doing this overnight, and they're not telling the customer. It's causing a lot more issues than, and obviously you can see it across the board because everybody's numbers are like that. But I don't know if that's something that can be addressed with or pushed up the chain to, hey, when y'all, I mean, I don't know. I don't even know that makes sense, but like I've known 2 or 3 people that had that happen. I know, like I said, I talked to Victor, and he's had 2 or 3 that he got hit on because they freaking took the thermostat off the panel and can't walk the customer through how to add it back, or a doorbell camera. I mean, that's what's kind of ridiculous part of it, I think.
No, I agree with you. And going off of, I know that you sent an email yesterday. I got with Tommy on that last night, and I know that he was busy last night. So we will get that, and we're going to run that up the chain a little bit and get an answer to that. I know Tommy's very big on getting answers on things like that fairly quickly, and so we are going to work to get you an answer on that. Because yeah, I agree. I mean, if the customer tech support is doing that to us, then there's a hole in the system somewhere, and we want to make sure that we're patching that hole. We don't just want to patch it; we just want to fix it. So we're going to make sure that we're doing what we can to get the answers for you and get that fixed. Because yes, you're correct. That does cause lots of return trips, and that just makes our customer service in the long run go down, and that makes us look a little bit bad in the customer's eyes. So we're definitely want to take a look at that. So yeah, I will be getting you an answer back on that as quickly as possible. And Tommy is on the call. Does not look.
Yeah, I'd say I am on.
Well, it was saying that you were offline for a little bit, so I didn't know.
Yeah, because it kicked me off. It kicked me off, and then I was switching the phone call, and then I got on the phone call, and then the phone call hung up, so then I had to call back in. So that's probably what it was. It still had me on the app, but due to the phone portion, it kicked me out. But I'm here, and yeah, we'll definitely be sending this information. Also, I mean, anytime you guys see it, anytime, every time, send that in. Also, if you guys want, I mean, you can use the Tech Genie feedback button for more than just Tech Genie feedback. If you're on a job and I don't know exactly what's the best way for you to kind of report it, putting it in there. But yeah, I mean, you can put the information like that in there as well, because if they're collecting and going over the feedback, regardless of what the feedback is, it can be filtered and sent over to whoever it may be. If they're going through a bunch of Tech Genie feedback and they keep seeing 50 different messages about issues that are like this, guaranteed somebody's going to say something. Somebody's going to say, well, we keep getting these messages in here, and it's not about Tech Genie, but it seems like it's a pretty big issue that we need to look into or pass on or whatever. Squeaky wheel gets the oil. You know that one, Terry.
Yeah, just to clarify, that was a little bit different statement than what my email was, but kind of along the same line. But yeah, so two different kind of situations. But thank you.
Yep, no problem. Any of the situations, like I said, whatever it is, just keep sending the feedback on it. You guys are seeing it, even if it's the first time you see it, pass it on and just let us know, to where it's not we wait until we've seen it quite a few times, because I mean that's where that's where we will, as an organization and as different departments, be able to be a whole lot more solid as the short accounts, just like what we all do, in the region. We don't wait until you guys have done something or that we've seen something like 3 or 4 times. If we see it once, we're going to talk to you about it, and it's just the understanding that we're going to bring it to you and talk to you about it, so it's not, it should be perceived in a different way, like we're just staying on people. It's kind of just the consistent conversations. So, just keep sending the feedback. Put it in the Tech Genie feedback if you can, whatever we can do, and let's keep pointing out this stuff, so then we can get it over to the right department and the supervisors and leaders that'll need to do the coachings to train or coach or whatever will need to happen to make some fixes for things like this.
Awesome. Appreciate it, Tommy. Also, guys, a couple other small things that we need to talk about. One thing is we've noticed that a lot of guys are getting off, are getting completed with their jobs again still, and it's 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and they're like, okay, I want to go home. We want to make sure that we're reaching out to other teammates, and even posting on Zinc, hey guys, done. Anybody need some help? Anybody need parts? Anything? We want to make sure that we're setting the teamwork aspect out there. I know that a lot of us are, kind of end of day, posting the end of day, and that's great. But also we want to reach out and say, hey, got some time. Anybody need anything? And what that is that's just kind of building a culture on the team, to work together, right? If we're asking and somebody's, reaching out and asking, then that's showing that they want to work, and be a team player. And that's what we're all about, guys. We're going to be working on that culture a lot in the near future, starting now. We want to make sure that the teamwork aspect of the team is where we're at. We want to be humble with what we're doing, and we want to be humble with taking care of our customers. I've referred back to the Ideal Team Player book a couple times. Excuse me, because that was a big thing that we went over in our conference. And man, I've given that book to Victor yesterday. He's going to be reading it, and he will be passing it around to the squad leaders once he is completed with it, because that book has really opened my eyes, and I know that the other FSMs that have read it as well. And there's a lot of great things in that book, and it kind of makes you start thinking. And we just got to make sure that we stay humble and we stay hungry. Obviously, a lot of us, we're all hungry. We want to get to that next step and things like that. So we want to start doing our due diligence to help out in that process. So like I said in the very beginning, I'm going to be doing a lot of work and getting with y'all a lot and spending some time with the leadership to develop better leaders as well as myself. I'm going to be developing myself, working with the other FSMs and talking to them more and things like that, because the sky's the limit, guys. The way the company's growing is just crazy. So we want to make sure that we're doing our due diligence and moving, trying to work and move on up. So I'm going to kind of open it up. I know that we're a little busy today. I want to kind of open it up and see if anybody's got any roaring questions for us while we're here.
I got a question.
Yes, sir, Mr. Rush.
How many times have you said due diligence?
3. I wrote it down.
I'm just messing with you.
I know. I knew it as soon as I knew that I was saying it too much. But hey, you know what? It's good work. I'm trying to broaden my horizon, trying to, get my vocabulary a little bit more. So that's just one of those.
I got we gonna develop it.
That's what I'm talking about. And see, that's teamwork right there. Because you're calling me out on it, which means I got to do a little bit more work.
Hey, that means that I got to do more work. That means that I got to develop it. I got way too many words to not give you some.
So can I get a copy of the Tommy Dictionary?
I don't know if you have enough storage space to log that.
All right, guys. What kind of questions y'all got for us? Oh, come on, guys. I know that there's somebody's got some questions.
Right? Anybody got anything to share? Or if you don't have questions, talk about how your squad's been doing or something. Talk about, some good stuff that's happened with somebody on your squad personally that you know something about, or anything. I know y'all got something to share, something to say.
Well, I know Patrick goes this week for his Army interviews, so just keep that in mind. Wishing Patrick the best on that.
Absolutely, yeah, I did hear about that. That's some great and amazing news.
Oh.
Only I got, Dustin working hard yesterday, grinding out I would say his first real late night issue of a job. And then Jason's been more vocal, I guess you could say, more talkative, more with the entire team, not just the entire Invictus team. He's been more putting out more ideas and tips on things to help out. So.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mr. Lugo.
I was just going to ask you if you could elaborate a little bit more on how you plan on changing the culture, like you were talking about earlier, like the mentality of the guys who are in the mindset of trying to go home early all the time and always prioritizing. Not that not I don't make it sound ridiculous. We all got things to do, but like prioritizing their outside life, prioritizing over Vivint during the work schedule, like 8 to 6. I know what you do after work is your problem. What you do, after work is on you. But how you plan on changing the culture of people knowing and realizing that they have an obligation to Vivint from 8 to 6, and during that time, that's where their focus should be, and not somewhere else. I was just trying to see how you're planning on changing that culture. So maybe I can help you out, or we can help out as leaders or whatever. Because I think right now that's a big problem right now in our group as a whole.
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. Thank you for asking, Vic. The way that I'm looking at it is obviously we want to make sure that we're having these crucial conversations with these teammates, right? We want to make sure that we're talking to each individual. Whenever we see that there's kind of a breakdown of information or communication. Yes, you're absolutely right. We need to look at it. We're here 8 to 6 on our days that we're working, so we want to make sure that Vivint is what we're doing as a job is our main priority that day. So I understand, we want to talk to them and say, hey, obviously, it's 2:00, you may not have anything on your schedule. Let's do our due diligence and work with, the rest of the team. And even if it's, hey, let's go help out, another teammate, at a big install, or, hey, I know that, another teammate's needing these parts and we got some time on your schedule. Let's block you off and get these parts to them, or things like that. Not just one of those, hey, I'm done. Can I go home? I don't have anything. We want to make sure that we're trying to call the customers from the next couple of days and move them up. And I know that we've talked about it before. And I know that some of us do that and some of us don't. We just see, okay, there's nothing on our schedule. I want to go home. and that's a great thing, and we want to work great with the family balance, but we want to also make sure that we're doing our work and taking care of our other teammates, between the hours that we're all working. So yeah, that's just going to be one of those conversations we have with each individual at that time, and kind of start building that team camaraderie and that team commitment so that we can do that. And absolutely, Vic, I want to reach out and have you help with that. If you see something that that's happening as the team trainer, bring that up and let's work on that together. And as a leadership team for our team, let's all bring that up together and start working on it. Because one of the things that it's a big cliche, it's a big this is a big cliche, but I want to say, teamwork makes the dream work, and it's absolutely 100% true. We spend a lot of time talking about it, and but the actions upon it aren't there as much as they need to be. And like I said, I've got a fire in my belly after the conference, man, and acting upon it is where I'm at. And I would expect the same from the leadership team. So we're going to work on it together as a team, and we're going to build this culture to a teamwork environment while we're at work, the hours of 8 to 6. And like you said, when it comes down to after hours, when you're off, after 6 o'clock, things like that, and you have nothing to do, absolutely take care. You go spend some time with your family, do that. But we want to make sure that we're helping out the team first, while we're during the work day. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. So obviously, we'll have those conversations, but we'll be working together as a leadership team to make sure that we got a good goal in mind and a good plan, and the communication is open, guys. That's one thing that I definitely want y'all to know is the communication is a large deal, man. I want to make sure that the communication is definitely open and the pathway is clear. So anything that y'all need from me, do not by any circumstance hesitate to let me know, because that's what I want to make sure that we're taking care of and we're keeping the communication path extremely open so that we can have a clear view of what's going on. Now, guys, I will admit I may not have all the answers when you ask them, but I will definitely do everything I can, and I will get you the answers that we need as quickly as possible, because sitting around waiting on answers is not fun, and I know that because I've dealt with that also. But sometimes, it may not be as quick as you think that I should be able to get the answer, or just, you may be trying to get the answer a lot quicker than I get it to you. And I understand that, guys. Just feel free to, ask me, hey, have you gotten to this yet? Hold me accountable, as well. As well as I will be, I expect myself to hold y'all accountable, when getting things done and answers as well. So I appreciate that, guys. Going to kind of wrap it up, guys. I know a couple of y'all got to get into some jobs. Tommy, I'm going to kind of open the floor. You got anything for us, sir?
Hey, I was just going to follow up with to help answer that question, and start it off by saying the answer is in that book. We will be very deeply pushing towards everyone being very valuable and willing team players. That includes ourselves, you all the way up and down the chain. So, one of the really big answers to how we are going to change that culture is we are going to change that culture. And we will become what that culture is. And anyone that is not of what that culture is will not be we. It is just that simple. It may sound harsh or blunt or whatever the case may be, but if you do not want to be a team player, get the hell on somewhere. And that's just kind of what the culture is going to become. Is this is a team, and this is a team about being a team. And there's going to be some uncomfortable, crucial conversations and things like that, that we've even talked about before. We've laid the groundwork for it before, when we've had these meetings and conversations and stuff with the team and with you all as leaders about, when we say accountability, holding each other accountable and all of that, again, like Derek said, there's been a lot of talk. There's going to be a lot of action. And there's going to be a lot of push towards action and some clear understandings and things like that. The choice to want to not be a good to great team player is going to make someone's work life uncomfortable here, that's just going to be what the truth is. It's not going to be accepted, and it's going to need to be rejected like a bad organ, but also embraced, because in the eyes of that team player, we won't just reject someone. We will be trying to help them as much as we can, to the point where they will see that they are not a fit. And that is how we're going to change the culture. And it's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult. I hope that everybody understands, where I was coming from with what I was saying the other day when I was just asking those questions. And like I said, it wasn't anything directly towards you guys in this team or you all as leaders. This is just kind of where I am right now. I'm looking deeper into things. I'm taking what I see and then going further with it, each and every time, and asking more and more questions. And, when we talk left of bang, okay, well, that's where I'm taking things, the things that I see and the questions that I'm asking and stuff like that. Like that was my question and what I was kind of looking at, that day, and when we were checking on Jason and whatnot. And that's why I just asked to spark the thought, to get the engagement in everybody's minds of, okay, well, yeah, how far did we go? How much did we do or whatever? And it's development, and that's exactly what it is. And that's what we're gonna do, and we're gonna all do that together. And as Derek said, we're going to be confident. We're always gonna be confident, but we're gonna be humble, and we're gonna always remain hungry, and we're gonna be smart with how we discuss things and talk to each other and understand each other and look out for each other and be concerned about each other as well. And I mean, that's really where it's going to be. So we all have to first look at ourselves, because it starts with self, as I always say, and check our own egos, humble ourselves, really look to push ourselves for the changes that we need to identify within ourselves, which may be difficult, but we got to do it. And we got to make sure that we're going to be committed to that and make it happen. So, I appreciate the things that you guys are doing now and the things that you guys are going to do. Get ready, be ready, stay ready, and we're going to make that happen. And it's only going to happen if we all commit to it. So if we go down the line, just like we've come down the line from previous conversations and things like that, however we feel now versus then, if we don't feel too much better, it's all of our fault. It's not look at somebody else and point at them and it's their fault. You start with yourself. My fault first. So down the line, if we're not better, we've all failed. And it won't be just point at somebody else and say they failed. It'll be we all need to point at ourselves and say, I failed. I failed the team. I failed myself. I failed whatever it is. And that's why we and I are not in a better place. So that's what we're going to do.
All right. Thank you, Tommy, so much for that. Guys, I'm going to kind of end it up right now, but one thing I want to tell you is obviously the conference, we went over a lot of things, guys. We had a great conference. One of the biggest things that came out to me and that I put an asterisk by it, I took some notes, a lot of notes and things like that. And Tommy, you got to do your best not to laugh right here. But one of the biggest things that I got out of it is I need to get out of my own way. I do a lot of overthinking and thinking too much about the small things, and I need to get out of my own way and know that I'm making a choice or a decision or whatever, and stick with it, because I know that it's right, but I want to make sure I spend too much time. Okay, am I doing the right thing? So I need to get out of my own way and know that what I'm doing and be patient and take care of what we need to take care of. So, guys, I appreciate it. That's just one thing that came from the conference for me. We are going to become a better tight-knit group, teammates, family, things like that. I appreciate the hard work and diligence, and I also appreciate that the fact that y'all are gonna be working with me side by side to make sure that our team is capable of taking on any task and any job at hand. So I appreciate all the hard work, guys. Feel free to reach out and ask with any questions, guys. And we're gonna kill the end of this year and move on to 2018 bigger and better. Excuse me. And we're just gonna strive to be the best. Last little tidbit is today is the last day of the month, guys. Let's get with the everybody on the team and make sure that we are getting first thing in the morning. We're getting all of our mileage done, and we're checking driver care and making sure that all that is done. I do know that some of us are going to be off and are already off for the week. Let's see if we can't get in touch with those guys and make sure that mileage and driver care are getting taken care of first thing in the morning. Appreciate it, guys. I will stick around for a few minutes, and if y'all have anything for me, y'all go out there and kill it, and be ready because I'm going to be reaching out to each and every one of us in the near future, and we're going to be working hard together. Thank y'all. I appreciate it. Y'all have a wonderful day.
Yes, sir.
Word up. Go kill it. Thank you, fellas. Doing due diligence.
Oh, man.